Hello, this is Janet Wright, and this is going to be the Metatron Monthly Energy Healing Forecast for March 2019. Again, this is the recording for March 2019. My name is Janet Wright, and I will be relaying messages from the Archangel Metatron for this recording, and most likely an additional Archangel later on in the recording. And when I do this, I'm watching and listening to the Archangel as he or she speaks. And so I'm just going to try to match the energy of the speech as well as say the right words. Hello, Janet. Let's get this going. So March 2019, many of your listeners, most of your listeners, have been having winter, and they will be very eager for spring to come. And I do think that regardless of the season that the listener is experiencing, March 2019 will actually have a bit of a spring-like quality in several ways. First of all, creativity, I feel, could be a good stress reliever for people in March. The angels had liked humor for February 2019, although that was not in the recording, that was in some triplet emails that Janet did to her healing participants, recommendations to watch things that are funny. So while that's always good advice, in particular, March can be better with creative pursuits. So if you doodle or draw, or if you listen to more music than usual, that can also be a creative experience, even just enjoying music. Also, trying to do things differently on an aesthetic level, not in a way that one would require spending money, but changing up what one wears, or the placement of objects in one's room can be a nice way to be creative and relieve stress in March. The problem with March is it reminds me of the plates of the earth, the tectonic plates of the earth, and eventually they move and they shift. And when one plate moves up against another plate, at some point there's an earthquake. And so there are moves and shifts like that in March 2019, not literal earthquake shifts, but there are big patterns that are changing. And if you are especially open to change, and not only open to change, but initiating your own changes on a light-hearted, creative level, for example, with feng shui, changing the object placement in your home, I say feng shui very lightly, just in that the energy of objects matters. I'm not suggesting that people study literal feng shui, but just think of rearranging objects in a way that's more useful or pleasing aesthetically, or both. Also doodling, as I said, or listening to more pleasing music than usual. But these creative and aesthetic changes will allow you to lighten up and therefore not experience any sort of earthquake, because you will not be resisting the changes in March. You will be initiating your own small, playful, creative changes, and therefore, as long-held things begin to change, You will move into the change. You will be a part of the change, and there will be no earthquake for you. Earthquake, again, in a metaphorical sense. So again, please consider, what little enjoyable changes can I make? Even such a thing as changing the mug that you drink your tea out of every morning, or having breakfast instead of skipping breakfast, or changing some clothing items, that starting to wear something that is more pleasing to you visually. Little changes, little creative changes, little sensory changes. For example, often in some other recordings I have mentioned smelling essential oils. If you have an essential oil that's pleasing to you, you could put a drop of it in a room. But please do try to initiate these small, enjoyable, creative, lighthearted changes in March. And that way it will lift your energy and make you very open to change. And therefore you can have a very smooth progression throughout March 2019. And if you do have loved ones who are very rigid and very opposed to change that you want to help, in 2019, Janet does have a video that you could use to heal them on a spirit level. And this video is very easy, even for beginners, to use. And the title is something along the lines of how to heal others with flower healing. How to heal others with flower healing. So for example, if you have a spouse who is very resistant to change, it would be nice if you could do flower healing for yourself and him using that video just on a spirit level once or twice during March.